What up, everyone? Dr. Dale here. I'm in the amazing opportunity to come to the British Museum on my European archaeological tour, and I have a chance to see one of the Moais I've most looked forward to seeing in my life. I present to you Moai Hoa Hakananai'a. This was one of the first Moais to be taken off the island and brought into Great Britain in the expedition of the Topaz in 1868. This Moai, along with a smaller Moai called Moai Hava, were both brought in from the Orongo region, or the Ranokau region, the southwest of the island that has the big freshwater crater where we know Orongo, the ceremonial village, is located, and it was later brought back to Great Britain and given as a gift to the Queen. Now, for me, the most interesting thing about this Moai is that, unlike the other Moai, the 95% that are made from volcanic ash, a topolapally, this is actually made from a very coarse-grained basalt, which is much different than the majority of Moais that we have on the island. Some of the details are spectacular. You'll notice right away that the eyes are carved out. That's called the Aringa Ora, the living face. So we know at one time this Moai sat on top of a platform and overlooked the area it was supposed to. You'll notice the very long ears that are carved, the beautiful neck. The reason why it's maintained its details so long is because it's been under a roof for some 150 years. So that's really improved the integrity. Notice underneath the neck, you'll see sort of the breast area, the arms that come down into the hands, but it's much shorter than the majority of Moai that we have on the island because it was much more difficult to carve. However, if we go to the back side, this is why I think this Moai is so famous, is because of its carvings that relate directly to the Birdman cult, to Tanata Manu. So you sort of have three areas. You have the neck and above, you have the shoulders to the back, and the lower area. So let's just go in time. On the top, we see a lot of symbols dedicated to fertility and the power of the Birdman, of being, to have the role of increasing the fertility, especially after sort of the chiefly phase of Rapa Nui sort of dwindles down. The most important, though, still showing this power is this guy right here, which is either called the Ao or the Rapa, which is a very large or short paddle, sometimes having the face of an ancestor, and then the bottom of what would be a paddle. We know these are seafaring people, so it makes sense, the connection between the human and the water. But here, a chief or a priest could use this, twirl it around in his hands, and show the power that it has. On the ears here, we see a very important symbol, the komari, the female vulva. And obviously, if the Birdman is about fertility, having the female vulva and then the men symbol, which is commonly found in the Make mask, or the creator god mask, those are the fertility symbols. In the middle here, we'll see the Suri tern, the Manutara, and this bird was crucial because every year that it came back to the island, it would initiate the Birdman's ceremony. And the famous activity of climbing down the cliff face of Ranokau, retrieving the egg from Motonui, and bringing that back to the sponsor that would then become the Tanata Manu, which is then represented right here on the shoulders. So you see the body of a human being, but the head of basically a frigate bird, the makohe, which is a little bit different. So there's sort of two main birds that are found in here. We have the Suri tern, but we also have the makohe head. And probably the warriors and priests very much enjoyed this particular symbol because what they saw in the makohe is that it was kleptoparasitic. It would fly around and wait for other birds and animals to catch things, and it would come in and take the power of that. In the bottom half, then, we see what's probably called the maro, or the other side of the loincloth that would be hooked onto the front. But some have interpreted that as a rainbow, and then the lightning on the back, perhaps the sun or the moon. But undoubtedly, this is a super important Moai. And you can tell, as I just look around, look how many people are coming to visit this particular statue. It has a very important prominence inside this gallery. So for many years, there's been many programs that have tried to bring this statue and others back that are found through the world. Right now, there are 12 left that are remaining in the world after 2 had gone back to from Chile back to the island. And in 2018, a group from Rapa Nui came here, led by the then Governor Tarita, to basically bring this moai back home. But on Rapa Nui, things are not always black and white. So for some, it's imperative to bring back the rest of these statues, to bring these ancestors back home. But there's another group of Rapa Nui that don't want these statues to come back home, right? They really think that this guy is an ambassador for all these people, right? His job is, and how many questions are being asked about Rapa Nui? How many people are reading the labels to understand? So when you deal with repatriation, there's always multiple stakeholders. And we want to understand that Rapa Nui people, many want the statue back, but others realize that this is a great way to get the world to Rapa Nui, because how many people are going to visit Rapa Nui? Probably not that many in their lifetime, but coming to the museum like the British, for one day you have a chance to visit a moai like Hoa Hakananai'a. And for me, that's why this statue is so important. So I always say to him, what's up? Pehe koi, Moai Hoa Hakananai'a. Take care of yourself. Hahapu koi. We'll see you soon. Have a good journey. Ka'o hariveriva koi. Yorana maururu.